On January 28th, GameStop hits $468. This stock went from trading at $17 on January 1st to $468 on January 28th, an increase of more than 2,600%. Hey everyone, it's Prashant here. Welcome to my YouTube channel where we take the journey to personal finance together. Thank you for joining me in today's video, and let's dive right in. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the whole GameStop situation. In case you don't know, over the last 2 weeks, a battle broke out on Wall Street between hedge funds and redditors. Some people lost a lot of money and other people made a lot of money. And we got to see exactly how crazy the world of Wall Street can be. Okay, there's a lot of stuff to digest in this video, so I'm going to take a second right here to ask you to hit the like and the subscribe buttons and share this video with someone you think might find it interesting, like a friend or a coworker. This helps me a lot with the YouTube algorithm and motivates me to keep making these videos. That being said, let's get back to the GameStop saga. Before we talk about what happened to the GameStop stock, let me first tell you what GameStop is. GameStop is a retailer that has stores all across the country, and their business is selling gaming consoles, video games, and even buying back your old video games. Now, if you think about it, because of all the lockdown and social distancing rules, most malls are closed, and even if they are open, not a lot of people are going to them anyway. And on top of that, buying video games in stores is slowly going down as people are transitioning to digital downloads where games can be downloaded on Steam or other platforms. So all in all, GameStop's business model seems to be in some trouble. Now, to make sure we fully understand what happened with the stock, we have to go all the way back to June of 2019. You see, on Reddit, there is a subreddit called WallStreetBets where people post trading strategies every day. On this subreddit, a user, Deep Blank in Value, started buying long 2021 calls on GameStop stock. By the end of October 2019, this user had spent $53,000 on his call options. He even started posting monthly updates of his portfolio, which I'll be putting on the screen up here for you guys. Moving along our timeline, in August 2019, Michael Burry, the guy who predicted the housing crisis, disclosed a 3% position in this stock. He said that 90% of the GameStop stores were free cash flow positive, and he believed that the stock was trading at or near its intrinsic value. This would signal that he believed that the stock had upside potential at the time when it was trading at around $4 per share. Okay, now let's fast forward to August of 2020 when Ryan Cohen, the founder of successful startup Chewy, disclosed that he's got a 10% interest in GameStop. In the next month, September of 2020, Reddit user Deep Blanking Value's holdings in GameStop have increased in value to more than $600,000. It also comes to light that there is a 120% short interest in GameStop stock. Now, before we understand what this means, we need to understand what stock options trading means. So let's sidebar. There are two types of stock options that you can buy. The first one is called a call option. Buying a call option gives you the right but not the obligation to buy a certain stock at some point in the future at a fixed price. For example, let's say you buy a call option to buy a stock at $50 2 months into the future. And let's say in that time, the stock value reaches $70 2 months into the future. So you can exercise your call option to buy that share in the future at just $50 per share and then immediately sell it back into the market at $70 per share, giving you a profit of $20 per share. People buy call options when they believe that the stock is going to do better in the future than it is doing today. The second type of option is called a put option. Buying a put option gives you the right but not the obligation to sell a share in the future at a fixed price. For example, if you buy a put option to sell a share at $50 2 months into the future and the stock falls to $30 in the future, you could at that point buy shares in the market for $30 a share and then exercise your put option to sell them at $50 per share, once again giving you a profit of $20 per share. People buy put options when they believe that the stock is going to do poorer in the future than it is doing right now. All right, now that we understand a little bit about options trading, let's get back to our GameStop timeline. In November of 2020, Ryan Cohen, founder of Chewy and holder of 10% interest in GameStop, writes a letter to the board of GameStop and asks them to perform a strategic review of their business and urges them to move their business more towards digital sales and away from their brick-and-mortar retail business model. At this time, Deep Blanking Value's holdings have risen to more than $1.3 million. Also in November 2020, it comes out on Reddit on WallStreetBets that there is a hedge fund called Melvin Capital that has been betting that GameStop stock will be doing poorer for the last 4 years. They have been borrowing shares of GameStop and then selling them immediately in the market, with the hope that in the future, the share price of the GameStop stock will be lower and they can then buy them back at a lower price and return them to the borrowers that they borrowed the shares from in the first place. This strategy is called shorting the stock. If you want to learn more about the concept of shorting a stock, I'm going to recommend a YouTube video by YouTuber Johnny Harris, who uses Pokemon cards to explain this strategy really, really well. I'll put the link to his video down in the description. All right, now that everything's set up, we get to the really interesting part, January of 2021. GameStop announces that they have added Ryan Cohen, founder of Chewy, as well as 2 of his associates to the board. A lot of Redditors believe that Ryan Cohen is the guy who's going to turn GameStop around, especially since he believes that there is upside potential in the stock based on the new console cycle coming up, as well as a strong GameStop loyalty program, and so on. GME stock rises 13% and closes at about $20 a share on January 12, 2021. Reddit user Deep Blanking Values portfolio holdings are now up to $3.1 million just on GameStop. Over the next 2 days, there's a lot of buzz about the GameStop stock on social media platforms such as Reddit, Discord, and many others. And a lot of people start buying into the stock, and basic economics takes hold and pushes the stock price higher every day. On January 14th, the stock closes around $40, and Deep Blanking Values holdings are worth more than $7 million. At this time, subreddit WallStreetBets users realize that the hedge funds that are short on these positions will have to buy GameStop stock to cover their short positions. And they will have to pay higher and higher prices as the stock rises because they have to buy the stock to cover their positions. Now they want to stick it to the man, and they really want to make these hedge funds hurt. So they start posting about this even more and more and start pouring thousands of dollars into buying this stock and call options for the GameStop stock. The hedge funds, on the other hand, double down on their strategy and end up shorting 140% of the GameStop stock. At this time, momentum quantitative funds as well as other hedge funds realize what's going on, and they start buying call options along with the Redditors on the other side to drive the price higher. All this time, the hedge funds who were short have to keep buying more and more stock in order to cover their short position, which causes the price to go even higher. This is called a short squeeze. To fund all of this purchasing, the hedge funds that were short on the GameStop stock have to sell their long positions in other stock that they were long on, causing a fall in prices in the broader stock market. Things get so crazy that on January 27th, GameStop stock closes at $347. Reddit user Deep Blanking Values holdings are in excess of $47 million. On January 28th, GameStop stock hits a high of $468. Think about that for a second. This stock went from trading at $17 on January 1st to $468 on January 28th, an increase of more than 2,600%. On January 28th, 2021, another very interesting thing happens. Robinhood, which is the brokerage that a lot of retail investors use, along with a few other brokerages, decides to block its users from buying more GameStop stock or call options, but allows them to continue to sell their stock or options. This causes a panic in the market and causes the price of GameStop stock to plummet to $197. Think about that. If someone bought at the top of the market at $468 in a single day, they lose $271 per share. So the question that arises is, why did Robinhood stop its users from buying this stock? You see, what happens is when you buy a stock, it takes 2 days for the stock to settle. This means it takes 2 days for the funds to transfer from the buyer to the seller and the stocks to transfer from the seller to the buyer. Brokerages partner up with clearing firms to facilitate this. And these clearing houses have requirements that brokerages have sufficient funds to cover these transactions in the interim 2-day period. So when a lot of Robinhood users started buying GameStop stock and call options at higher and higher prices, the amount of funds that Robinhood was supposed to have in reserves to cover these transactions shot up. And in order to remain within the requirements, Robinhood decided to suspend the buying of any more call options or stocks when it came to GameStop stock. So this is the official response from Robinhood. And actually, I'm going to post a link in the description below to their blog post where they talk about this, so you can read this for yourself if you want. Now let us talk about the drama and the speculation. If you don't know, Robinhood was a pioneer in the retail investing industry. They were able to figure out a way to offer free trading to retail investors just like you and me. You see, before Robinhood came on the scene, all brokerages would cost a transaction fee on every buying or selling of stock, usually about $10. So it did not matter if you bought one share or you bought 1,000 shares, you pay $10 for each transaction. When Robinhood came, they gave you the option of trading at $0. So they took this industry practice of charging the customer about $10 per trade and just threw it in the dumpster. And they said that they're going to give free trading to all investors. In fact, once Robinhood came on the scene, most brokerages have now lowered their fees or completely eliminated them. So let me tell you how Robinhood is actually able to offer free trading. Robinhood collects data on retail investors like you and me on what we are buying and selling, anonymizes and packages this data, and sells this order flow data file to other brokerages. This is actually a large portion of Robinhood's revenues. A large customer for Robinhood for this order flow data is a prime brokerage called Citadel. All right, got it? Let's get back to that short squeeze that I talked about a few minutes ago. If you remember, a hedge fund called Melvin Capital had been shorting Gamestop shares for over 4 years. So when the short squeeze happened, Melvin Capital had to go and buy shares at higher and higher prices. In order to do this, they had to go and borrow money from another company called Citadel, the very same Citadel that pays Robinhood for order flow data. So there's speculation in the market that by stopping buying of GameStop shares, Robinhood might have ended up benefiting Melvin Capital, and both of these companies are connected to Citadel. Again, this is just speculation and we don't know for sure that this is what happened. This whole situation is very fresh and the news is still coming out as the dust settles. There's probably going to be an investigation from the SEC because a lot of politicians like AOC and Elizabeth Warren are calling for this. All I'm saying is, at this point, the optics don't look the best for these companies involved. So where do things stand now? As of February 6th, GameStop shares were trading at around $64 per share. And as of February 3rd, Deep Blanking Value's holdings had fallen to just over $22 million. So in approximately 1 month, we saw the share of this company go from trading at about $20 per share all the way up to $460 per share and then crash down to $60 per share. All this time, the fundamentals of the company or its business model have not changed at all. We saw some hedge funds lose a lot of money because they got caught unawares while shorting a stock. And we saw the power of individual investors coming together and working towards a common goal. And we saw some people gain a lot of money. All in all, several bizarre market forces came together in a very interesting way and gave us a once-in-a-lifetime spectacle. As for me, even though I was tempted to buy into the stock just to participate in the hype, I ended up sitting by the sidelines and watching in awe as this whole thing unfolded. And I'm still waiting to get more news and understand exactly what happened and digest it all. I believe in value investing for the long term. In fact, in my next video on this channel, which I'll be posting later this week, I will be talking about the basics and fundamentals of investing in the stock market, and I will be talking about exactly how I myself invest in the stock market. Please subscribe to my channel and watch out for that video. That's all I have for you guys in today's video. If you have any questions or comments about this whole GameStop saga or anything else to do with personal finance, please go ahead and leave that in the comment section below, and I will respond to you. Please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe buttons as well. This helps a lot with the YouTube algorithm and helps this channel reach many more people who are interested in the personal finance journey. Also hit that bell icon to be notified instantly when I post a new video. I post a new video once every week about great new financial content, and I hope to see you guys back here. And follow me on Instagram where I post every week. I will put the handle in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.